Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet. Today we're getting into some more Spy Family, and I had a lot of fun with the last episode. I think it's really interesting how they're having these side stories to the main plot, but they're integrating these really important points that I think are going to add up by the end of this part or the season. They're going to add on top of each other that it's all going to connect in a really important moment. I'm not really sure what that'll be. I don't have any predictions where I'm like, this is definitely what's going to happen, but at the moment, it looks like we're getting into some Yor storyline because we ended with her getting a phone call that the Thorn Princess had a mission, and it looks like that's what we're going to be getting into with this episode, which I'm super excited for. I feel like our girl has been sidelined a little bit in the series, and she's just so incredible, so I want to see some more of her story and learn a lot more about how it works. And I think that it's really important at this point to see where her mind is with it, because we saw at the beginning of how she felt about being an assassin, but she's gone through a lot of progression. And I think with the last episode of her being called normal, even if the intent was sarcasm, that hearing that was really important. And I think that there's now this duality to her where she very much tries to keep the assassin and the wife and mother separate. And I feel like this is going to be a point where they cross over and she's going to have to make some decisions about what's more important to her and why. So I'm really looking forward to this episode. So let's get into it and see what our Thorn Princess has for us. In 3, 2, 1, go. Very subdued opening, which is not usual for a Spy Family episode. Whoa. It's like on a estate. Oh, we had a mention of garden before with Frankie, right? And there's like a necklace that matches her Yoa's earrings. I was just saying how I feel like we haven't met anyone else around Yod. So I think that this is cool to see other people who are involved with it. Ooh, that was close. Whoa, didn't even tip over on her heels. Okay. Protection? Sure. I don't know. Like, I get a weird vibe from this whole thing. And maybe that's just me being protective. But it feels weird, doesn't it? Like the not only like the estate, but this like very Garden of Eden feeling, right? Which we had some mentions of before with Frankie. And then I don't like the wording freaks me out too. Like at least with the other spies with Lloyd, there's a kind of like cynicism and yet optimism to them, which I know is like contradictory, but like they're like, we've seen some things, we know how awful the world can be, and we want to be the only ones who are aware of how bad it is, right? Like they want to be able to protect people in a way that they don't need to know how bad it'll get. Whereas like yours people seem to be like, I don't know, everything needs to be perfect by our definition of what perfect is, which feels icky. But I might just be protective. I tend to not trust things that are introduced to me in series. Okay, so we're protecting a mom and her child? Okay, so wasn't that connected to what we were talking about before? I feel like there's another group here. I feel weird with the fact that we're like protecting someone connected to the mafia and it's phrased as if like he said like they've been part of the underground with like honor or something. Again, the wording seems weird. It's also a shadow over his eyes because of the hat, and that makes me go, sus. See the like remaining beautiful thing. It feels weird, doesn't it? I can't be the only one who's just like given side eye. Looks like a little bit of a deranged look there. Oh, are we picking up from his previous story we got? Oh, I guess he already visited their house after that one. It's interesting for him to say that. The internal monologue. It was like he seems really cool for how unhinged he usually is. I'm like half looking in the window to see if he's like running after the train. Oh, is this how we're getting the tickets? We're winning them completely by chance? Oh, are we gonna go on the boat separately? Uh-oh, he's corrupt. Are you gonna steal the prize? Do it, Anya. Fighting corruption one raffle at a time. I like how Lloyd's is immediately just like, this could be nefarious. Oh, she's not suspicious that her family might be there for a not great reason. Like Lloyd is, but yours not like. I know that that's not the actual reason, but she's not like, huh, my family ends up on the exact cruise that I'm about to go on to protect a very important person from assassins. Yeah, get paid time off. Good choice. Were you half expecting to be told that you couldn't do it and have an excuse? Mission vacation. I like how Frankie's included of like staying at home. Interesting that she's like, if I wasn't working, I could have just gone as Yun and enjoyed the vacation with my family. But instead, she's gonna have to divide her attention to being an assassin instead. I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know what it's like. I honestly don't have any interest. I don't like water. So the idea of being completely surrounded by it on a vessel does not appeal to me. There's like a whole band there. Fancy. Uh-oh. They're literally shady, so I think those might be the ones that we need to watch out for. She's so cute. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't think it's gonna be very exciting. Come to a jail. I'm a little bit sus about this too. She does look very different. Is it actually who it's supposed to be? Hmm. There's definitely more going on. It's true. She's got this. Like her eyes are different, which makes me think that it's someone else. I was gonna say there weren't any other survivors. Yeah, seems like a bad idea. They shouldn't, but we saw some suspicious characters boarding before. Before it sinks. I like that he's still in the mode of like something might happen and I should be aware of all possibilities. You're on vacation. You're not in spy mode. He's very serious. Why are we focusing on the suitcase? It's not though. Their family, and it's very cute. Yeah, what's in the suitcase? A disguise? Perhaps? Full vacation mode. It's true. The suit does make it look like you're there for like security reasons. I'm still suspicious about the eye blocking. I don't know what it's symbolizes though, if it's like her being guarded because of grief or there's something else. Uh-oh. Is something overhearing? Uh-oh. Someone listening in? Some very unsettling music happening in the background. Uh-oh. Those eyes freak me out a little bit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was like way more in line with like a thriller than I thought it would be. I feel like we're gonna get more into more of it, obviously. But I love that this is like a multi-pata, and we're gonna get like a bunch of a bunch more moments of Yon because I feel like this one was more of her contemplating what really matters. Like the whole question of like the family is just a camouflage, right? And she's like, are they? No, they're not. They're a real family. But her like questioning that, but then that kind of getting turned because she's seeing this mother and child and her saying like I'm going to protect them and I'm that's my job and I'm going to do it very well. But at the same time she has her own family and I feel like she's pulling more and more away from like being the thorn princess. So it's an interesting mix of her like recommitting to her mission and her job while also questioning whether or not this is truly what she should be doing, right? Like her saying, I could be enjoying this vacation with my family, but instead I'm not because of this like double life. Uh-oh. So we're gonna be getting into some stuff. I knew that in this episode we were definitely gonna have to deal with Yod feeling that push and pull of these two sides of her life that she's very much trying to keep separate, but there's a lot more introspection with it. And I think the question of, is this still just a camouflage? Because like for Yod, having her family is so she can seem normal while being an assassin. And then we have her here saying like, is it just a camouflage? It's been a while since I've had a job where she's doing a mission as an assassin. She hasn't been an assassin as the main part of her life in a while. So is that actually who she is now? And this is her being Yod Forger to allow her to do that? Or is she Yod Forger who occasionally has to go and do this other side mission, right? So I think that it's really interesting to see those two sides of her and her battling to basically reassess her priorities in a way that she hasn't had to think about before. And I think having this mission be protecting a mom is significant because I feel like more of who Yod is being a mom, being a wife, being someone who is normal and has a family. You know, we had the little clip of her with her brother. Her having a more mundane existence is more of who she is or who she wants to be than the assassin, the bodyguard, the Thorn Princess, which wasn't the same thing at the beginning, to the point where it was consuming so much of her life that she couldn't keep her cover because people are like, you don't do anything. She's like, oh no, I've spent too much time being an assassin that I don't have a life outside of it. That was the reason that she ended up becoming Yod Forger, was because she needed something to be like, this is how I spend all my time, obviously. So I think that it's really interesting to see her having to completely reorder her priorities. I think she already has, but her realizing it is interesting to me. And even having Lloyd trying to separate himself from the spy mindset and enjoy the vacation is something that he's not super good at. Like he's immediately, it seems a weird coincidence that we won this cruise. It's very big. There's lots of celebrities here. There's lots of people here I don't know. That seems a little weird. I want to know about all the possibilities of how to protect people and get out of this if I need to, and what are the dangers, and having to kind of put that aside and be like, I need to actually enjoy this. I think it's so interesting to see them forced to acknowledge that they legitimately have other priorities in their life than these secret identity careers, right? I'm very suspicious about this organization that Yod works for. I just get a bad vibe. And I don't know if that's just me being suspicious, because I'm suspicious of every new person that is introduced to any kind of series because I'm protective and I've been portrayed enough times in anime. But there's just something with the wording of it, ensuring things stay beautiful and saying that a mafia family ruled in the underground with honor seems a little bit weird. It feels off and I don't like it, but we'll see how it goes. You know, we're gonna be getting more into Yod and her missions and her organization, I feel like, now that we've been introduced to some of the other people. But at the moment, I don't know about this, but we'll have to wait and learn some more about that. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you miss next time I post a Spy Family reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.